Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. I know it's hard, but Lemaisa, Kavod Torah. It has taken me a really, really long time to get here. You know, I tell people, I finish Shas. I would like for you to come to the Siyum if it's not a tircha. And I got several responses. One was, cool. We finished Shas, cool. Other responses, wow, that's amazing, that's so incredible. Lots of brachas and mazel tovs. Thank you. Hello. Okay. And a lot of the questions that I got were similar as well. Like, how did you do it? And also, how long did it take? So I want to answer that question. But it's not a pasha question to answer. Because it did take me 20 years. I came to base and I did not know how to learn. I did not know how to read. I didn't know these words that were on the Gemara, on this paper. I didn't know Chumash. I didn't know halacha. I didn't know a lot. And I came to base, and really I wasn't accepted to base, and I was told by my rebbeim not to come to base because they didn't feel that this was a place for me because, for whatever reasons. But then they heard how well I was doing in base, and I am so grateful to this institution, this yeshiva, this Makam Torah. I remember my friends came to visit base, and I came with 8 other guys from TJ, and I couldn't believe the kol Torah there was in the base midrash. It was incredible. And I said, this is the place I want to go. So I took a feher, and all my friends heard back, and I was the only one that didn't hear back that I was getting accepted into base. And it was already the Shabbos before Elul, and I still haven't heard anything. I didn't know whether I was coming here or not. Min Hashemayim, I went to the Old City for Shabbos, and I had just bought a black hat, and Friday night I happened to see Rabbi Hartman, and I took a fair hair with Rabbi Hartman. So I said, Rabbi Hartman, hi, my name is Nisso Blonga. Do you have an answer for me? Like, am I coming to base in 2 days, or am I staying in TJ? He says, let me get back to you. I'm like, okay. Like, what's going on? I'm telling you, 8 of my guys, 8 of my friends, they all said, like, they're coming, they got accepted, they know which year they're going to. And then I get a call from Rabbi Hartman, and he says, the next day, he says, you know, you did a roshem on me. I saw you with that black hat and a suit and everything at the hotel. It looked really good. You could come to base. I'm like, what's the probability that I had just bought a black hat and that I went to the Old City and I saw Rabbi Hartman in the Old City? What is the probability? But it happened. HaKadosh Baruch Hu led me into this place. It took 20 years. It took 20 years. I remember the first year I got here, it was my 3rd year because I was in TJ for 2 years and I didn't know how to learn very well, as I mentioned. And I sat down with a dictionary, writing down the words, every single word. I'm telling you, like there are some masechtas I'm going to have to buy new because it's filled with words. I don't know which one's the Gemara and which one's the ink and print. I don't know. But I sat and I learned. And it was very, very difficult. It was very hard. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that the Torah was emes. And no matter what I was going to do, I was going to sit and I was going to learn and I was going to try my best. For those who know me, I came from a background that wasn't religious. So I've been around the block. And I knew that Torah was emes. And Torah is emes. And will always be emes. Like everyone, I have a Yetzer Hara. And the Yetzer Hara prevents us from learning Torah. We spoke about, a couple weeks ago, about how Yaakov got into a battle with Sar Esav. Chazal say, Sar Esav, Hu HaSatan, Hu HaYetzer Hara. Chavetz Chaim, Rav Elchanan Wasserman also has a similar question. Question is, why did he fight with Yaakov? Why didn't he fight with Avram? Why didn't the Sar Esav fight the Yetzer Hara, the Satan? Why didn't he fight with Avram? Why didn't he fight with Yitzchak? Why did he go to Yaakov? And he gives a mashal. He says, if you're in a fight with somebody, just because you won that fight doesn't mean that you won the war. You might have won the battle, but you didn't win the war. And the way to win the war is by taking away the ammunition. Take away your opponent's ammunition. And what is that? That's the weapon. The Yetzer Hara tried taking away the weapon. The weapon of what? The Torah. Avram was a midah of chesed. So the Yetzer Hara didn't bother with that. It wasn't so bad. Okay, so you do chesed. And Yitzchak was tefillah and avoda. Okay, so you pray. Somebody asked the Chavetz Chaim, is it going to hurt the Yetzer Hara if we prayed all day? If we prayed all day and said Tehillim, and he says, no, that's not what's going to get the Yetzer Hara. It's going to... He fought with Yaakov because Yaakov was a midah of Torah. Yaakov went to learn in yeshiva for 14 years. Yaakov was the one with the ammunition. Yaakov was the real threat. Torah was the real threat against the Yetzer Hara. And you can see that. I've been paired with chavrusas, and I had no shaykhs to these guys. Rav Moshe would put me with somebody, or Rabbi Haller would put me with somebody. I'm like, whoa, I have nothing in common with this guy. And I would never really speak to this guy outside of the shir. But you know what? At Seder, we always had something to talk about. Always. The Yetzer Hara gets you, because he doesn't want you to learn. So he gives you things to talk about. And if you notice also, as soon as this happens to me, as soon as I open the Gemara, sometimes I give a huge yawn. I'm like, whoa, I'm so tired. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. This is the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is smart. The Yetzer Hara is going to try to do whatever it can to stop you from learning Torah. There's a Yerushalmi that says, "B'mikdash Rishon, viter HaKadosh Baruch Hu al avodah zara, gilu rayas, v'shfichas damim, v'lo viter al bittul Torah." HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how do we say viter? Mevater. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was, what's a good word for that? Was not okay with. He wasn't okay with it, but he let it go. He let go the three cardinal sins that was done in the Bayis Rishon. But when it came to Bittul Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could not let that go. Why? Because Torah is the Yetzer Hara's kryptonite. It's Klal Yisrael's weapon against the Yetzer Hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I gave you the Yetzer Hara, but I also gave you the weapon. I also gave you Torah. So how did I do it? I noticed a lot of the guys, I got that question, how'd you do it? A lot of the times it came from people who knew me back in the day. And first I'm like, what do you mean, how did I do it? I read one letter. I read one word, one line in the Gemara, and then I just went to the next, and I went to the next. One page. But then I'm like, whoa, so he asked me about this, This is like the old timers. There has to be another reason why they're asking. And it's because they saw where it came from. They saw that you have a guy who didn't know how to learn, and he's finishing Shas. He finished Shas. Honestly, I don't know how I did it. Besides the support that I get from my wife, besides the Siyata Shmaya that I got from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I have no idea how I did it. It was something I wanted to do. It wasn't something I thought I would, but it happened. And I'll give you one example. There was a time where I had insomnia. I had no problem falling asleep, but staying asleep was a big, big issue for me. I would wake up every night at 12. I couldn't go to sleep until 2. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And so I decided, you know what? Mission insomnia. Mission Masechta insomnia. I will take a Masechta and only learn that Masechta between the hours of 12 to 2 or whenever it is that I could not fall asleep. Because we know that we get tired when we start learning. I know that's the Yitzhara's trick. So if I can't sleep, I'll just learn Torah. But I didn't learn anything else except for whatever that Masechta was. That was my Masechta for those times. And I finished several Masechtas at night because I could not sleep. So how did I do it? I learned one line. 20 years later, it led me to this day. And again, I want to stress the thank you, the gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving me this, because also with Corona, I had something called long COVID. I could not think. I could not concentrate. I had brain fog. I could not remember what I was learning. It would take me so long to learn Masechta, to learn a couple lines. And I just couldn't, I was reading the words and I just couldn't think of it. And I couldn't understand what was going on. I started taking ADHD pills. I'm telling you, I just couldn't do it. And then I saw a Gemara that says that a person who gives tzedakah he gets saved from Gehenna. It was Gehenna for me to not be able to concentrate when I'm sitting in the base, and it was so hard. And every time I would always carry change in my pocket, and every time I had a problem I couldn't remember, I would put a shekel aside. I'll put another shekel aside. I'll put another shekel aside, because it was Gehenna. And I was trying to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please help me. So it was 100% Siyata Shmaya, and it was also the gratitude that I have for my wife is so tremendous, because again, I can't sit and learn if I don't have a spouse to help me. She did everything. She made the meal. She baked everything. Some people brought some stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But she's incredible, and the koach that she has because of Torah is incredible also, and it's a chizuk to see. So thank you very much, Rebbetzin Stein. And I give us a bracha that I will be able to come to your siyums, and then you'll be able to come to my siyums as well. We'll all finish Siyum HaShas over and over again, Kol Torah Kula, with the Rishonim, Achronim, everything. There has to be in learning. It's very, very difficult, but L'maisa, it's doable. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Tana debei Eliyahu kol Shona halachos v'kol yom muftach lo shehu bein ha'olam haba shneimar halichos olam lo al tikrei halichos ela halachos. Hajan Allah Tinokes b'slika Allah Masechet Nida bli neder. Hajan Allah Masechet Nida v'shas bavli v'hadra chalan daita chalan Masechet Nida v'shas bavli daita chalan V'lanit nash minan Masechet Nida v'lanit nash minan laba al me'aden v'laba al me'da'atik bli neder. Hadran Allah Masechet Nida v'shas bavli v'hadra chalan daita chalan Masechet Nida v'shas bavli v'daita chalan lanit nash minach Maseches Nida v'shas bavli v'lanit nashi minan laba al me'aden v'laba al me'da'atik bli neder. Hadran Allah Maseches Nida v'shas bavli v'hadra chalan daita chalan daitan Allah Maseches Nida v'shas bavli v'daita chalan lanit nashi minan Maseches Nida v'shas bavli v'lanit nashi minan laba al me'aden v'laba al me'da'atik bli neder. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Eloi Avotenu she'teh Toratecha u'manatenu be'olam hazeh u'tihei imanu l'olam haba. Chanina bar Papa, Rami bar Papa, Nachman bar Papa, Achai bar Papa, Abba Mari bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Sorcha bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Daru bar Papa. והרבנה אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפיות עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה כולנו אנחנו וצאנו וצא עמך בית ישראל כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך. נשמע. כמו יבא תחכמני מצוותיך כי לעולם היא לי. יהי ליבי תמים בחוקיך למען לא יבוש, לעולם לא אשכח פיקודיך כי בם חייתני, ברוך אתה אדוני. למדני חוקיך, אמן, 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 סלע ועד. מודים אנחנו לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, ששמת חלקנו מיושבי בית המדרש ולא שמת חלקנו מיושבי קרנות, שאנו משכימים והם משכימים. אנו משכימים לדברי תורה והם משכימים לדברים בטלים. אנו עמלים והם עמלים. אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר והם עמלים ואינם מקבלים שכר. אנו רצים והם רצים. אנו רצים לחיי העולם הבא והם רצים לבאר שחת, שנאמר, ואתה אלוהים תורידם לבאר שחת, אנשי דמים ומרמה לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אפתח בך. יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהי, כשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכת נידה וש"ס בבלי, כן תעזרני להתחיל מסכתות וספרים אחרים ולסיימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. וזכות כל התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי, ולזרי שלא תמוש התורה מפי ומפי זרי וזרע זרי עד עולם. ותתקיים בי בהתהלך תנחה אותך בשכבך תשמור עליך והקיצותה היא תשיחך כי בי ירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים אורך ימים בימינה ובשמאלה אושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. יתגדל ויקדש מרבה. אמן. בעמדי העתיד להתחלתה ולחיה מטיה ולסקה יתרון חי על מער ולמבנה קהתה ירושלים ולשכללה החלה בגבה ולמעקב פלחנה נופרעה מן הרע ולתאווה פלחנה די שמיה לאתרה וימליך קודשה בריחו במלכותה ויקרא ויצמח פורקנה ויקרא במשיחה בחייכון וביום אחון ובחי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמות קדושה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. על ישראל ועל רבנן ועל תלמידהון ועל כל תלמידי תלמידהון ועל כל מן דעתקין באורייתא די באתרא קדישה הדן די בכל אתר ואתר יהא להון ולכון שלמה רבה חינה וחיסתא ואחמין וחיין אריכין ומזונה רביחי ופורקנה מן קדם אבוהון די בשמיה וארעה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה שמיה מן שמיה וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו וברחמיו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
only managed to like mess up the That might have been because could have been because he didn't have somebody that was elite singing, and therefore I was like, oh, you should song. Could be. It's hard for me to think. Yeah. What? No, he just didn't. Nobody. I guess whatever. Didn't ask him to do it. I would have gotten it. Whatever. It was nice. It was nice without it. Ugly singing. Very fair. I would have gotten up. It's not like I would have been able to help him out. He gave his speech. Now
Shliach of the yeshiva, Tzeved, Yom Light, the Chaveirim, the Kitzer, the base family.
Yeah!
We want to give you a mazel tov. We want to give you a bracha. Kishem shezachisa, zachisa, schus gedoyle moed, l'sayim Shas Bavli, mitoich amelos, mesirus nefesh, esrim shona, mitoich asmoda, v'shkeida, be'ezer Hashem kach tizke, lilmoid ulelamed, es hashas, harbe palmim. Just a few minutes, l'chvoid inyan of the yoima. This is the battle! Outside, they're playing soccer. 4 billion people are watching. I've never heard anything so stupid in my life. 4 billion people for 2 loser countries. Who cares? France, Argentina. If it was America, man, maybe. But loser countries. Makes enough Gamina. Who wins, who loses? It's Yavan all over again. Tell me this wasn't, talk about, wow, this was how hard the Yitzhar is working. He managed that the World Finals, 4 years, Punt lands out on the first night of Hanukkah, between Adlokas Neros, 5 o'clock. Can you imagine what's going on? So you got the Chashmonaim on one side, and Yavan stronger than ever, fighting us, Yitzhahara. What's our battle? What is our koyach? Our koyach is Shas, Bavli, Torah Shval Peh. I want to tell you something. Chumash is the Bible. The world holds it a Chumash. It's not a bad book. It's a bestseller. The Bible. Most religions accept the Bible. It's Torah Shval Peh that they're fighting. So it started with the Misyavnim. And I hate to say this, but unsere brethren, unsere brothers that went off, they're the hardest ones. Because they're the ones that were bifnim. They're the ones who can infiltrate. They're the ones who can pollute these Slavos for learning. It happened then. It happened in Slobodka, in the greatest yeshivas, the Askala, and it's happening today. We have to realize the battle. Where is the center? Where is the center of the battle? Unzera Avrech. I love that. Yeah! He grew up in a modern home, very modern, not even religious. That's Hollywood. That's Westernism. That's Greek culture. We all have it in us. But if you're not religious, even more. And he flipped. What a flip! Triple somersault in the air to be Molei V'Kodesh every single daf, 2,711 dapim in Shas. Wow, talk about Mikotza Lekotza. You're intense, man. You're extreme. There's something, when I was growing up, a guy who was mamash learning with Kol Kulei fire. Today they call it intense. No, that's too intense. No, you have to chill. Chill. Mechatesi. You can't flip out. But if you learn with a geshmak, so then the intensity is not a stira. It's a geshmak, it's adarabba. Everybody's telling me they gotta chill. I gotta chill, Rebbe, you gotta chill. Rabbi say, chill too much, and you get frozen. Can't get frozen. You gotta learn with intensity. It's a Murray Gazach. They say if you have light, so the light goes out like this, doesn't do anything. If you put it real strong, condensed, it's called a laser. It can cut through anything. Focus! They say, B'Shem L'Chavetz Chaim, I'm learning, they say, V'shinamtem v'dibartam hayoim. Hayoim, I'm only learning this daf. Today, there's nothing else. This line of the Gemara. If you put all your koiches in it, They call it goal line defense. All your kaich is right here. This is it. Of course you'll be matzliach. That's what Nisso did. He wants to know he's matzliach. I'll tell you he was matzliach. He was matzliach because you have to want to finish Shas first. You wanted it. So listen to this vort. Someone they say Torah is like water. It's a mashal. Torah is like water. What's the shaychus? I have a murdik at the hair. You don't make a bracha on water unless you're thirsty. Torah only goes in if you're thirsty. Then you can make a bracha. You were thirsty? Oh, now you make a bracha. If you're not thirsty, you don't want it. So you're right, it's hard, it's this, not as exciting as everything else, all the other happenings in the world. But if you want it, you know this is it, this is everything. This is the battle of Yavan. And this is the Chashman, this is Torah Shebal Peh, this is Shimon HaTzadik, this is the Chashmanayim, start, end of Golos Yavan. So then you're Matzliach. There's a Maridika Rashi Tevis. I looked all over for it. Today they have Oitzer Chochma, you can find it or whatever, there's someone shown, they say B'Shem the Baal Shem Tov, whatever. Samach Mem Aleph Lamed. That's the Sar Shalesav. That's who you're talking about. Sar Shalesav. Samach Mem Aleph Lamed Rashi Tevis. B'Shem the Best. Baal Shem Tov. Siyum Mesechta Ein Lasois. You can do whatever you want. Josh, you know, huh? You can do whatever you want. Don't make a Siyum Mesechta. What is so upsetting to him about a Siyum Mesechta? I want to say over something Mishem, the Chvoid Rabbi Silver, who was here. It's such a nice simcha to have him in base, a true mechanech. Say over something Mishem our Rebbe that I'll have on now. Dr. Moshe, the Maila of a Siyum is in the Kinyan Shabai. Because you can learning, you're steiging, you're growing, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a pelvic gazach. You can learn Baba Basra, 160 blot. That's not bad, pretty good. No Siyum. You can learn Harios, 13 and a half blot. You download 13 and a half blot. Shine, you see him. He's a great, a big rabbi. He made a Siyum in Harios. Thank you. What's the pshat? What's second pshat? Everyone agrees 160 blot is harder. It's choshev. Aber Kinyan, says the Rebbe, Messiah of Torah was given with a siyumim, with mesachtas, with svarim, acherim. You don't have a kinyan to give it over to the next door unless you have it b'shleimus. Then it's a kinyan. Messiah means mesachta. You can give over your hand something, the book. You don't give over the letters. Now you can stop shmooze and learning. That's also good. You want to give over something with your hand, you got to give over the book. The book is from cover to cover. You ever have lahavdil, a sefer, not a sefer, a book, a novel? You're in the middle of the book and you put it down. Give out. You crazy? You're just getting into the action. Isn't that kolshkein for any mesechta? You come to yeshiva, you start a mesechta, you finish it. You don't put it down unless it's cover to cover. So someone asked me once, isn't the Iker Iyun? About your life is Iyun. It's like a big businessman. His life is his money. But if you don't get dressed in the morning, you walk around in your pajamas, it's awfully embarrassing to go to the office. If you're walking around not finishing Masechtas, it's embarrassing. Yeah, you know, called her cool, you don't know nothing because you didn't finish Masechtas. You don't have Yediyas. Yediyas make Lomdis. Grace of Svaras, Grace of London. It has to be totally in finishing Masechtas again and again. I'll tell you something. I grew up as a kid. Someone said a terrible line. They said, finishing Shas is from Europe. It's over. You're American boys. Forget it. You're busy with the Yankees and the Dodgers. You're no way you're going to be finishing Shas. I took that as such a line. So it was, of course, the greatest thing in the world. Because in those days, when you said something was hard, so it was a challenge. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you. Today, if you said it over, I tell the guys in cheer, it's a hard toisis. What do they do? We used to say, hard toisis. Oh, yeah, Ray, we're going to show you. Today, I say it's hard toisis. They say, oh, forget it. We give up. I can't say it anymore. Now I lie. I say each toisis is easier than the next. I lie. They halfway through, so you realize. But what can I do? I got to do anything. Cheat, lie, steal, whatever I can to get them to learn. But bottom line is, we're here to see them. How you see them? By taking the Kabbalah yourselves. You know, in Shemayim, there's the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. The Kitzur, he says, you know, in Shemayim, there's Heicholis in Shemayim. Every single Masechta is a different Heichal. You know what that means, Heichal? I'll tell you what it means. I came to a chasna. It was a base bacher. This was going way back years, and it was in the Hilton Hotel. I don't know where that is even. I think in Tel Aviv, a Hilton Hotel, fancy schmancy hotel, and you're supposed to do RSVP. Minkas RSVP. I don't know. I come there. Stupid mistake. I get there. The guy's at the door. The guy says, "Ken miata." I said, "Excuse me." I was the guy's Rebbe. I said, "Miata. I'm a Rebbe. I'm your Rebbe Shalom. Miata." He says, "I'm the Shomer. I don't let you in unless you have a card." I had no card. What do? I couldn't get in. You know how bad that felt? You know, everybody's inside, and I'm waiting to give a mazel tov to the chassan. I can't get into the chassan of my own Talmud. I knew what to do. I was like figuring out what to do. My gosh, can't get in. Finally, someone was talking to someone else. I quickly ran, underneath his legs to get in. I was there, but I had no seat. There was nowhere to sit. Every seat was gecheshbent. Every seat, There was no place to sit. So I'm walking around looking like I'm going somewhere, but nowhere to go. There's nowhere to sit. I was homeless. To be homeless at a wedding of a Talmud is a terrible feeling. I didn't know what to do. Finally, I just left. I couldn't. It was terrible. It's a terrible feeling. That's what it's like in Shemayim. You're going to knock on the door, Chalila, and you're going to say, "Let me into Mesachtas B'chayros." Say, B'chayros? Yeah, did you learn Mesachtas B'chayros? No. I don't even know which Seder it's in, B'chayros. Sorry, lock the door. It's a terrible feeling. Every single Masechta in Shas has a Heichel in Shemayim. You get in if you learned it even once. And don't let the people say, "But I don't know it. I didn't chazer it backwards and forwards." Do you know every time says no? Do you know what the Brisker Rav says in Daf Lamed Hey? No. Well, you know what? It's okay. Get there the first time. Before you run, you have to crawl. The first time at least, you'll get to Shemayim. Says the Ketzer Shnoch, even if Mikoitzer Sichloi, we can't be masig the Torah, but we learned it once, we'll get it in Shemayim. Nisso, Be'ez Hashem, you're going to have Shas Bavli in Shemayim. That's a moidige thing, because you learned it here, and you fought for it. I end with a mashal. The kid tells me, "It's not going." I tried once, twice, 3 times. I told him it's the ice pick mashal. Ice pick, because I'm from Chicago. The winter, we're 40 below in the winter. So you go outside, it's icy, it's dangerous. You take this long spear, I feel like Pinchas, the long spear, and I'm going to show that ice, he's having a bad day. So I go like this once, this twice. I go like this 10 times. Nothing moves. The ice is as hard as ever. I'm so mad. I take that, oh, Shrek, go like this, boom, and walk out. All of a sudden, a huge piece of ice splinters off. The thing is gone. Like this big. I see ice. I see a sidewalk. How'd that happen? The teretz is you don't see it, but underneath, every time you're pounding away, it makes a difference. Underneath, it makes a difference. You don't see it, but you'll see it soon, and you'll see it in a landslide. That's learning. Be'ez Hashem, we should all be zeicha to learn from Nisso what it means to make Siyum Mesachtas, Siyum HaShas. It's a steiging for yourself, for your Rebbetzin, for your family. This is called the Dogman Chinuch. Instead of telling your son, "Go to Cheder, behave," he says, "I'm going to teach my kid, go to Cheder, behave." No, I don't got to teach him. I'll show him. Oh, Dad made a Shas Mishnayos, a Shas Gemara. Siyum. That's something that he'll never forget. You'll never forget it. He'll never forget it. That's a chinuch, Be'ez Hashem, for him, for our Talmidim, for all of us. Be'ez Hashem, we should be zeicha to win the World Cup Finals in Shas Bavli. Thank you so much.